Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 243 of the MTG Goldfish podcast. I'm Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and we have the full crew here this week, kicking things off with the owner of MTG Goldfish, Richard. What's going on this week, Richard?
Hey Seth, almost ready for rotation, almost.
So close. Also, congratulations. I'm heard you 5-0'd in Modern with Ren and 6 of all cards.
I did. I was waiting for my deck to show up on this website called MTG Goldfish, and then I was ready to type an angry email to the website if it didn't, but it showed up. Wizards recognized my brilliance. It's a new archetype. Check it out.
Oh, yes, we'll probably end up playing it on stream. It does look really sweet. So congrats to that. And, of course, we also have Krim. What's going on today, Krim?
Hey, how you doing? We're a day away from the early access event, so I'm excited to be playing a ton of Standard.
Yeah, so basically, we have the full Throne of Eldraine spoiler out, and this week we kind of get the set filtering out in digital over the course of the week, and then this weekend's pre-release. So that's going to be one of our topics for today, kind of wrapping up the full set of Throne of Eldraine. But also, there was some other news that came out this week. We got a kind of new product announcement, the Deluxe Collection that we heard about. So we're going to talk about Deluxe Collection. And also, we got our very first Arena State of the Game. Basically, like, state of the beta, but now that the game's actually officially releasing and not in beta anymore. So we got some cool information about upcoming Arena stuff as well. So that's on the docket too. And, of course, answering your fish mail. So that's the plan for today. But before we jump into it, a reminder that our show today is brought to you by SpikesAcademy.com. And they are presenting a new course about Limited, this time with Hall of Famer and great Limited player Ben Stark. And in the course, Ben will teach you how to build better draft and sealed decks and how to evaluate cards in Limited. So get ready to crush your next pre-release tournament with Spikes Academy and the new Limited course with Ben Stark. You can even use the code GOLDFISH to get a 5% discount today over at SpikesAcademy.com. So thank you to Spikes Academy for supporting the show. So let's talk some Throne of Eldraine. We got the full set spoiler, and there's a couple of cards we're going to talk about, but mostly, what do y'all think about this set? Now that we have the full picture, it started off kind of weird. I remember, like, our first spoilers were getting, like, Oku, and we didn't even know what food was. Now we got the full picture, so where are you all at with Throne of Eldraine now that we actually see the entire set?
Oh, I mean, well, the set is just amazing. Like, it is, I think this set, I think we were talking about it a little before, but I think the amount of cards this will put into Modern, the amount of cards, like, just from the pure power level of this set is absurd. I love it.
I'm ready for the memes. They're like turn into pie, bake into pie.
Pie.
Yeah. All the food tokens, didn't say please. Like, I like these inside jokes that Wizards is adding, but like Krim said, the set is insanely powerful. Get ready for a strong Standard. I'm excited to see what happens to these cards in older formats, Modern, Legacy, yes, even Historic. We'll see how it goes. But I feel like Wizards really pushed it. I love the promotional adventure cards, like the fairy tale art, the alternate frame. We're going to talk about it, but the deluxe edition is a cool experiment. So I think Wizards is trying to start or try to end the year. I guess it's like Q4 coming up. They got to pad their numbers for sales so Hasbro's happy. So they really pulled out all the punches here. So I think it's going to be a good set.
Yeah, I'm definitely hyped for it too. It is probably the most like dad jokey set of all time. I think just with all
jokes.
like the food puns, like the Monty Python references, and they just have so many little jokes like that, which I think is pretty funny.
Wait, what's the Monty Python reference?
Oh, like the Black Knights in there. You could even say the shrubbery, the Great Henge. It depends on how deep you want to go and how much you look into how many times you've watched Monty Python.
I've never watched Monty Python.
What?
Kill me now in YouTube comments.
You've never seen Holy Grail?
No, I haven't.
My mind is blown. I thought that was a movie that literally every Magic player had seen probably like 20 times at least.
I have not seen that at all either. Actually, no. I saw it randomly on like late night TV, and then I was like, I'm good, and then I just skipped it.
And you make fun of me. Okay, so you guys cannot make fun of me for not watching Marvel anymore. If y'all have never seen Monty Python's Holy Grail, I will not take any crap about not watching superhero movies ever again. Done.
But like, Not
One
a
is an
single
old
superhero.
movie that, like, you know, is like a specific pop culture reference. One is like literally stuffed in your face everywhere for the last 8 years or whatever.
Yeah. I don't even know how you can miss a superhero movie.
I was too busy watching Monty Python's Holy Grail. For
Is
the
there
third
only
time,
one
or the
movie?
20th time.
It's only one
I
movie.
thought it was a TV show.
Yeah, is it a series or a movie?
Monty Python is a comedy group, or was a comedy group. So they have movies. They had a TV show as well. But Monty Python's Holy Grail is like one specific movie that they made that has to do with knights and King Arthur. And the Black Knight card that we have, the one where you remove a counter whenever it deals damage, that's a pretty direct reference to like one of the most famous scenes in the movie where the Black Knight keeps getting like limbs cut off but keeps trying to fight. And if you look, it's like a top-down design of literally a knight from that movie. Yeah. But anyway, this isn't the Monty Python podcast. This is a magic podcast.
I thought it was
So
Pop Culture Week with the Goldfish crew.
what?
Led by Seth.
I still can't believe you guys haven't seen that movie, but that doesn't matter anymore. So what cards are we talking about today, Richard? We have a short list because we've talked about a lot of them, and we have like the top 10 videos coming up and all that stuff, so we'll talk about them more. But what cards are we talking about today?
All right. So I think we've talked about most of the exciting cards because Wizards front-loaded previous season. But we'll talk about some of the mythics that came out last week. So we have the Great Henge. It's part of our legendary artifact cycle where you have a crazy expensive card and its cost is reduced. So this is the green one. 7 green, 9 CMC. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Tap to add double green. You gain 2 life. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it and draw a card.
I think
so
this
good.
has to be one of the best commander cards I have ever seen. Like this is just like an auto include in almost any green deck, I think, in commander. Like, why would you not want this? It's almost like Zendikar Resurgent, but sometimes it's going to cost 2 mana and it could be a mana rock. It's just like so incredibly powerful for commander. What do you guys think about standard though? Like, is this going to be a standard card?
Yeah. I still could see it being a standard card. I mean, it's like it's not that hard to reduce its cost. It may not come down on turn 2, which is fine. I mean, it won't, but like I think the card is just very good. Like, I mean, if you resolve this is a crazy engine that, you know, green like can keep up with. Like this way, you like, because you have all the control decks and the numerous ways they can draw. Even the like light up the stages. Well, this is just like green's version of card advantage.
Yeah, Galta is a little sad, but we have Questing Beast. We have what is the Beauty and the Beast card? The 3 mana 5/5.
Lovestruck Beast.
Lovestruck Beast. That's what I meant.
That's one of the easiest ways to make it work.
So that would make this a 4 mana card, which when you cast it, you get 2 mana back. So it's pretty good. So I feel like mid-rangey decks might sideboard this card, maybe even main deck it in standard.
Oh yeah, I would. Well, I mean, I'll try to main deck it, but right now it seems main deckable.
Yeah, like even Questing Beast, you curve 4 into 5, right? So like just a lowly 4 power creature that's not even that above curve in terms of power toughness, like works.
I'm curious. I want to try it in like a Golgari deck. It seems like you can like Goose on turn 1 into Lovestruck Beast or Rotting Regisaur on turn 2, and then play this on turn 3, and then if you get this down on turn 3, I don't know how you lose. You can even cast something else right away and gain life. Like, this card just seems busted to me.
Yeah, Rotting Regisaur makes this 2 mana. So that's one of the things I was looking at. I was like, ooh, would Rotting Regisaur work? And like it even gains the 2 life to help you like against aggro. So,
but you have to play Rotting Regisaur. Does anyone play that in standard?
Yeah, it's pretty good in Rakdos.
I mean, every time I play it in modern, I want to cry.
Well,
I think
that
it might have a shot now that we've had rotation.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot less competition now, so I think it might be Regisaur's time to actually do something.
Well, I mean, like if you look at all the Rakdos decks running around in Standard 2020, they have Rotting Regisaur and they have like a full play set of them because it's.
I've been working on like mono black with Rankle. I think that curving Regisaur into Rankle, and then you can just make people discard like crazy because you're going to be hellbent anyway. Like,
does no one play
like
instant speed removal?
Scary.
Like you just want to open yourself for a 2-for-1 for no reason with Regisaur?
The issue is like a lot of the removal, at least in standard 2020, is like like a lightning strike effect, like Chandra's Triumph or something like that. If you're using red,
there's not like a Doomblade effect right now, or like any just like straight up 2-mana kill anything, is there?
There's Tyrant Scorn, but that's conditional. I mean, it does hit Regisaur, but the like example decks are already like taxing you on those effects because like the Rakdos decks already have like Dreadhorde Butcher, which have haste, immediately come down and swing. You have Knight of the Ebon Legion, and then they wait, and then boom, they drop Regisaur, and then it's like, well, now there's a 7/6, and I've already exhausted myself of removal.
Or you just play that skeleton that you can bounce back to your hand. The 1-drop that's like 3 mana to return to your hand.
Yeah.
Combo. It's a combo with that and Rankle.
Yeah, I'm gonna play the upgraded Hero's Downfall. So next up, we have the Cauldron of Eternity, 10 black. That's 12. Legendary artifact. This spell costs 2 less for each creature card in the graveyard. Whenever a creature you control dies, put it on the bottom of its owner's library. 2 and a black, tap, pay 2 life, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery.
This one reminds me of a little bit of Whip of Erebos, and Whip of Erebos was really good back in its day.
Did Whip of Erebos cost 12?
Well, it doesn't really cost 12. Like, how it seems pretty easy if you play some self-mill stuff to get this one down to 2 mana, 4 mana pretty quickly. Like, I don't really take these mana costs at face value of these cards because they seem pretty easy to reduce. And then, like, you have the Green Cavalier is so insane. You, like, get it back and mill a bunch more stuff, or the Black Cavalier. I think this card could actually be pretty good.
I feel it's bad. Especially the clause where you can't even have your own creatures like dying on board to power this up.
That is true. It does make it a little trickier to build around.
You have to, like, the thing about Whip of Erebos is there was no combo. It wasn't like a Reanimator deck. You just put it in a mid-range deck and you just smash people's faces in. This one, because of the clause, you must be filling your graveyard with I don't even know what standard effects we have for filling your graveyard, but
we lost Stitcher Supplier.
Yeah, you basically need to go Hogak on this, right? You need the Stitcher Supplier, but we don't have it, right? So how do you fill your, and if you're reanimating, you probably want like big creatures to reanimate, but you can't fill your deck with those. So
sure,
I'm having a hard time getting this to work in standard. Even EDH, I don't know. This is one of that I don't like. It seems pretty hard to activate this thing.
So someone, I was asking for like viewer lists, and someone sent me a list where their goal was to turn this into a creature with Karn. And just beat in with a 12/12, like get your graveyard full of it and just animate it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how practical it is, but it looked really spicy and cool.
You can do that with any of these artifacts, right? Like the whole cycle, they get their cost reduced, and then you're like, Karn, haha.
I have a 12/12 here.
The thing is, what Karn, like the Great Creator deck, is loaded with creatures.
Yeah, that is true. It's an awkward, it's an awkward fit.
It's the alternate win con to your Dredge standard Reanimator deck. You put Karn.
Oh yeah. Every deck. I mean, I play Karn in Modern, so in a non-artifact deck.
All right. Okay. Last card we want to talk about is Brazen Borrower. Wait, second last card. One more card after this. 1 blue, 3/1 Fairy Rogue. It has an adventure called Petty Thief. That's 1 in a blue. Return target non-land permanent and opponent controls to its owner's hand. The actual creature is a 3/1 flash flying. Brazen Borrower can only block creatures with flying.
This card's amazing.
It's like
I absolutely love
Click.
this card. If you're in the same, like if you're even like not even as good as Vendilion Click, but somewhere in the same ballpark, I think that's good enough and like on top of that, you have the ability to dispersal something. That's a solid ability. It's not flashy, but it's very efficient. Well, it is flashy, I guess.
Literally flashy.
But what if there's a Teferi?
Well, but what if there's a Teferi for every situation, right? It's the same answer. I hope they don't have it.
I mean,
and you can also efficiently deal with it. right? Like, I mean, for some decks, like a Simic Flash deck or something like that can actually now have a way of just bouncing a Teferi back. Because if there's a certain point in the game where if I just uptick Teferi enough times, you'll never be able to remove it.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, I think the card is pretty strong. Both halves are just like on curve, and then you get the natural card advantage of being an adventure. So I still don't like it at Mythic, really. It feels like a rare to me. I still think it's a Mythic, but it's undoubtedly a very powerful card. I think it'll see a lot of play.
Yeah, same.
Yep. Agreed. So we have the full spoiler out. Pre-release starts on Wednesday. I guess tomorrow for you early access guys. Friday is the actual paper pre-release. What are you guys thinking about the set?
I want to open a lot of cards. That's
okay.
legitimately that's what I just absolutely love the whole set in every way. And I like the thing here is it's so hard to get a full read on the set because everything seems so strong.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a really powerful set, and I am glad it's pretty powerful, coming off of, like, War of the Spark, which is also pretty powerful, but I definitely think it's going to have a pretty large immediate impact on Standard. I think Knights were definitely designed in a way to make them standard playable, so I think we'll have a Knights deck right away, some sort of Knight aggro deck, and just looking over all the other cards, I think people are, in some ways, even though people are saying this set's really powerful, I also think people are like just underestimating some of the cards that I think are actually going to be even stronger than people are thinking. Like Oku is a good example.
Yep.
I think that's catching on now. I think Rankle is another one that people are going to be surprised how good it is, and just like the adventure mechanic in general. Like, I think people are sleeping on the fact that everyone is essentially generating card advantage because you get to cast a creature from your exile zone. So all of these, even the ones that don't look that great, when you consider that they're essentially drawing you a card, I think the set's going to be very strong and maybe even stronger than people are giving it credit for. And I think people are thinking of it as a strong set in general, but still, it might be even more powerful than that.
Yeah, I mean, like there's cards like Into the Story. Like we're talking about the rares and the mythics, but what about the uncommons too? There's like Into the Story, Epic Downfall. There's a lot of solid cards at uncommon that I could see like being big players in Standard. There's the like, I know that it may not seem like much, but that discard spell, the Spectre Shriek, I think that, and like I think Spectre Shriek. Yeah, there's a lot of solid uncommon options, I think, in Standard right now.
I don't know about Spectre Shriek in specific. We'll see with that one. We also didn't talk about the castles, which I think are just like super strong, way better. I was surprised how many people were like, meh, these aren't that good. I think they're incredibly strong, and we'll see a lot of play in Standard as well. So.
Oh, that was our last preview that I totally skipped over. We have the castles, so they enter tapped unless you control a plains or a swamp or whatever. They tap to add a color of that mana, and then they all have an ability. So the white one is 4 tap, create a human. Black one is 3 tap, draw a card, lose life equal number of cards in your hand. Red is 3 tap +1/+0. Blue is 4 tap, scry 2. Green is 4 tap, add 6. Only to cast creature spells or activate abilities of creatures. Which
I
ones
love
do you
every
think are
one
the
of
best?
these. I think the green, in Standard, strictly speaking, I think the green, maybe like green and red.
I'm really high on the red one. That's my pick for number one. It just seems so easy to take advantage of. The green one, it taps for 2 mana. Every land that taps for 2 mana has been very good. I don't think there's even any exceptions in Magic's history, so I think that one will be really good. But I actually think they're just, in the right deck, I think they're all very strong cards. Like, the opportunity cost is just so low because it's so easy for these to come into play untapped, and there's not really a way to get punished in Standard. There's no Blood Moon, there's no Field of Ruin anymore, so there's not really any downside as long as you can make these come into play untapped. So I expect that they're all going to see pretty heavy play, even the ones that aren't as powerful.
How good is the black one? And the black one, by the way, looks like a Star Destroyer. Just saying.
It does.
I think you got to build around that more than the rest. I think the other ones are pretty easy just to slot into a deck. I think you kind of really want to be aggro. I think the life loss really adds up for anything else. But if you're playing Rakdos aggro, mono black aggro, a deck like that, then I think it's going to be very strong. If it's just 3 mana tap, draw a card, lose a life because you're constantly running Hellbent, then I think the card is one of the most strong in the decks that can support it.
Yeah. And I think obviously all these are going to get played, but Castle can go into a control deck. Like Seth had mentioned, the Castle Vantress that is, and then, the Black Castle, obviously very good in decks that just dump their hand, but my pick is the green one is probably the best. And maybe the white one also gets played somewhere, but I think the green one's absolutely bonkers.
I think green is maybe tops for modern. The more I hear people talk about it, I think Primeval Titan decks it's going to be very good in, and I also like the red one in certain decks in modern, Goblin style decks where you're going wide. It seems like it could be very strong in those decks.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, if we're talking about then the modern ones, I think the black one can go in Death Shadow and stuff like that, and you know, yeah, I think there's these cards do have applications. I wouldn't play more than one.
Does Death Shadow ever make it to 4 mana? That is my question.
You'd be surprised. Well, I guess because my games go long, yes.
They should always come into play untapped in modern. Starting on turn 2 with fetch lands and shock lands, it's almost impossible that they're going to come into play tapped. Although then you can get punished more by Blood Moons and stuff compared to standard.
It's more of the mono-colored part of it for modern.
Yeah, if there's anything that holds it back from modern, it is the fact that it is a mono-colored land. The being punished by Blood Moon, I think one land, this one land versus, your 23 other non-basics, it's
I think
I'm losing a Blood Moon anyways.
Yeah.
I think where it comes into play, you can't just take out basics for these, I don't think.
No.
It would be tempting to be oh, I'm just going to cut my basics and play castles, but then you could get wrecked by Blood Moon pretty hard.
Right.
Everyone gets wrecked by Blood Moon in modern, Seth. Let me tell you, 2-color decks get totally wrecked by Blood Moon, right? So, because you don't play 8/8 basics, right? You play a full set of fetches, dual lands, fast lands. So I don't think it matters. I think you're going to get wrecked by Blood Moon anyway. So you play your castles, right? But it will replace, maybe your utility lands, Field of Ruin or something. But normally most decks just play a handful of basics, so you can't even cut those, right? You always need some for Path to Exile, Assassin's Trophy, whatever.
Yep.
All right. So any other Throne of Eldraine thoughts before we move on to our other topics today?
No.
All right, so our next topic is actually sort of Throne of Eldraine adjacent, I guess. They announced last week Throne of Eldraine Deluxe Collection. So, Richard, what comes in this product? And also, how much does this cost if people want one?
All right, so Wizards is selling this directly on their website. It costs $450 starting October 2nd, okay? What does it come with? It comes with 16 Throne of Eldraine collector boosters. That is the bulk of this product. We're going to put an asterisk there. We're going to come back to what these are because I don't know. It is, we talked about these collector boosters way back, but you get 16 of them. You get a binder with the Eldraine logo on it. You get a foil Garrick, borderless Planeswalker card. You get an art print of Garrick. You get a non-foil version of Kenrith. You get a 3x3 strip from a foil sheet of Throne of Eldraine. So it's basically a foil sheet, but it's only 9 cards. And then you get an Arena Mega Code card, which grants a Garrick sleeve, and then 1 copy of each of the cards with card style. So Garrick, Charming Prince, Magic Mirror, Witch's Vengeance, Bone Crusher Giant, Questing Beast. And so it's basically super promo upped premium product. And if you remember way back, we talked about the collector's boosters, and the collector boosters, does anyone know what's in them? Seth?
Okay, so in the Throne of Eldraine collector's boosters, I'm trying to pull up the list just so I say this correctly. All right, so here's what you get. You get a You get 15 cards, like a normal booster. All of your all of your commons and uncommons are foils. So 9 foil commons and uncommons, 1 foil rare mythic, 1 foil rare mythic with extended art, like you saw some of the Garruk Planeswalkers and stuff. Some of those things extended art, 3 special frame cards, including borderless Planeswalkers and also the showcase cards, which I think are the, fairy tale art cards we've been talking about. 1 card from a supplemental product, like, the Brawl decks, for example, and then 1 foil token. So everything is pretty sweet. Basically a bunch of foils, some of the special frame cards, something from a supplemental product, a foil token. I don't know. They're obviously cool, but are they as cool as their price tag suggests? That's what my question is. I don't know if either of you saw the stream where they announced Deluxe Collection. They actually opened 2 or 3 collector's boosters, and I mean, there was some really cool stuff. They opened like a full art Fabled Passage, which I'm sure is going to be like ridiculously expensive, but then they opened some other packs where like all their special frame cards were commons and their rare wasn't very good, just like a bulk rare. And I was like, oh boy, and then they had like a random like Brawl deck card or Planeswalker deck card that no one cares about. I was like, oh, if I spent $35 on this and got a bunch of foils and common special frame cards, I would be so disappointed.
Yeah, I guess. Like, I don't know. I like all the artworks for it, and I guess I'd be pretty happy to open those. If I'm looking to only get like foil mythics and whatnot, I guess that would be kind of heartbreaking. But I don't know. I like all the alternate arts, right? Like the fairy tale arts. Like you get how many of those again?
You get 3 special frame cards, which could be the showcase cards or borderless Planeswalkers. So up to 3.
As long as like I actually would. I don't even know if I'd want the borderless Planeswalkers. I'd more so just want the fairy tale arts. Those are so sweet.
I love the fairy tale arts too, though. But if they're all like random commons, I just feel like I could probably buy them for like $1.
Do you
singles
$450?
Yeah.
Like
No. No. I didn't even like. Well, actually, no. I'm lying. I did $450 like the Mythic Edition, but
I mean, I think you $450 liked a Jace.
Yeah, exactly.
But you did not $450 like oversized Teferi.
Okay,
almost
oversized Teferi. Come on, I can't even shuffle that.
But I mean, it's a booster product, right? So. You know, like you can buy a box of Modern Masters or Modern Horizons or whatever, open nothing. You can buy this $450 product, open nothing. Or I'm sure you can open some Chase Mythic that'll be worth like twice the product's price. So it is a gamble. Now, my intuition is they'll make, so the question is, how many of these will they make? Did they actually say?
They did not, but it does say it's limited 1 per person. So it is limited supply, although the collector's boosters, some amount are also distributed to local game stores. Like you can order them right now on TCG Player and stuff. So
if they're
this
unlimited,
is not the only way to get
if they're unlimited print run, right, then it's almost most certainly better to buy singles. But if this is one of those cases where they sell out and then the only way to get a sealed product is to pay like 2x the price or something, then the cards will be outrageously expensive. But I don't know, like, it's so expensive. It's like Wizards just keeps upping the price tag on these, seeing if Magic players will bite, right? Like $450. Like,
and also this one is a gamble. Like this is a straight up booster product. What we've seen in the past with like Mythic Edition, you're guaranteed to get like the 8 Planeswalkers or whatever. So you can look at it and be like, oh, I know I'm getting this Jace that's worth X amount of dollars, so it's definitely worth it. I think with Deluxe Collection, you're going to have the same variance almost as opening normal packs, where you could run poorly theoretically, when before with the really expensive products that Wizards has sold directly, you're kind of guaranteed like a floor of value by getting like the Mythic Edition Planeswalkers. So it'll be interesting to see like how many people are willing to take the gamble. Also, I'm really waiting to see prices come out. Like there's a lot of confusion over distribution, over how much supply there's going to be. So I don't think anyone has listed any of these cards for pre-sale, like the special frame stuff, the full art Planeswalker stuff. So I'm really really waiting to see, like, how much, like, one of the best cards from the set, let's say, I don't know, Fabled Passageway, one of the best rares probably, or maybe Garruk, the Planeswalker. How much do you expect those to go for if you get the special printing? Are we talking like, oh, it's twice as much as normal printing? Or are we talking like, oh, it's $1,000 card, like the anime Liliana or whatever?
Well, that eventually, like, I think in the beginning, probably. I think in the beginning, it'll definitely sit at some silly price, and then it'll kind of just drop down halfway through War of the Spark like Lily did.
Yeah, I think, I have a feeling this will be very popular. And I think the curveball they're throwing here is the arena exclusives. Or is it exclusive? I don't even know. It is. No, it's not.
The sleeve is exclusive.
It says exquisite sleeve. Is it exclusive? Will they give us other ways of getting it? Because if not, if you want arena exclusives, like the Garruk card style or the Garruk sleeves, this is the only way to get it. So either you fork out the money for this, or you rebuy it on eBay after someone buys this and, splits it out. So I think like the arena part of it actually is some value, and I think people will buy it because of it.
Well, I actually think the arena part is pretty disappointing.
What? It's like, free. It's on top of your 16 boosters.
I guess that's true. If you're looking at it like free value, but I don't see it as a reason to buy it. Like, you're only getting one of each copy along with a card style. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that deserves the name Mega Code. Like when I heard Mega Code, I was expecting like one of each card in the set, or like something ridiculous, but it's like, oh, it's 6 mythics and you get the card style on a sleeve. Like, okay, is that really mega?
I guess when it comes to what Seth brings up with the whole mega thing, I was like, oh, well, would there be like a few booster packs also involved in like for arena and stuff, but it's just the cards and the style.
It's the flexing on your opponents. Like, look, I spent $450 for these card sleeves and I'm losing to your mono red deck, Rage Quit.
It'll be interesting. Like, I assume that people can sell the code on the secondary market if they want to.
Yeah, right? How could they tie into your account? I wonder how much
value that'll have.
I think,
yeah.
I'm just going to assume that it's going to be worth a lot, because some people will actually want this. And, Garruk's pretty good this set. And, I would feel intimidated if I played someone with Garruk sleeves.
And I guess, like you said, it also depends on if it's exclusive. If you can also
if it's not exclusive, then
the sleeve in the store for a few gems, then yeah.
This would be a joke if that was the case.
So, final question on Deluxe Collection. Would you buy one of these?
No, I would buy singles. I think for $450, I would just get what I want instead.
I would just specifically buy a standard deck. Maybe a modern deck for this price. Like I think it's pretty, like, say you have 16 cards here, all right? 16 times 15 cards. Like, how many of these do you need? Like, if you're someone who's trying to get all of the adventure cards or kind of like collect all of them, this would make sense. But I think most players will have a handful of cards that they want to bling out for their deck. And this is a pretty steep price. So you would actually just buy this for value and start reselling or something. But to buy it and keep it all, I think you got to be a collector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
450 is a lot.
There's no, like, I don't know if you noticed this, but like nothing here screams blue card. So I don't.
Wow. Now, if that was a Teferi, right? When they make the mega bundle for the Teferi set, Krim will be all over
Mega
it.
Bundle 2021 or whatever, core set 2021. Yeah, I'll buy it.
Also, I'm a little disappointed that I feel bad for local game stores. This is another product where it feels like local game stores are kind of getting the short end of the stick a little bit, and it's being sold directly from Wizards rather than through local game stores. So I don't know. I'm still a little nervous about that.
So I actually feel this one makes sense. Right? Because they're not expecting to sell a lot. So like, what are you as a local game store? How many are you expected to buy? Like, it's one of these like super premium products that you can't really guess demand on, right? Like, so I feel like in this case, it's actually kind of justified.
If I'm a store, I would and like I wanted to see if I could push any, I would only buy one. Exactly, just one.
Yeah, like how many do you think your store could sell, right? So I feel like in this case, but I don't know, maybe this sells like wildfire, then they should actually release it to the general public, but I feel like it's so premium.
You said how much were the booster packs, the like retail? Do you know? Like
right now
like
they're selling for like
30?
30 to 35. They said they were supposed to be more like 2025 was their prediction, but they're above that right now. I guess the supply outside of Deluxe Collection was a lot less than a lot of LGSs expected, and they didn't get that many of them.
Well, at $30, that's like $480, right? So, like, I mean, you're already, if for people that are gonna buy the boosters, you know, like, I guess
if you're gonna buy the boosters anyway, this is outside of her not helping your local game store. This is the best deal if you want a bunch of collector's boosters for sure.
Like, I guess, like, if you're also like a local game store, like, and you have a bunch of collectors there, like, you have some, like, when I used to work at an LGS and whatnot, and like, there'd be a few people that would always come in and they just always buy like a silly amount of sealed product and just to get all like the mythic editions and stuff like that, right? Or not the mythic editions, the inventions and stuff like that. So,
right.
So if your store has like a ton of people that come in like and just are looking for the Kaladesh inventions and whatnot, maybe you just buy one, but like like Richard had mentioned, it's not like I'm going to buy like 30 from Wizards and expect to move them all. Like I'd buy 1 to 2 and maybe sell them.
I think I would like if local game stores had the option to get them, basically. Like, maybe a lot of local game stores would be like, there's no way we're going to sell these, and they pass, but it seems like it would be nice if you thought your LGS could sell them, that they would have, like, an opportunity to, but I don't know. Maybe it makes sense for this product to not give it to local game stores.
I do also agree with that. Like, it'd be nice to have the option to, but also, like Richard had mentioned earlier, I don't think you could even really sell it. It's a lot, right? Like, it's easier to go through Wizards. That
is true. It is a lot of money. And for a lot of small local game stores, like if you wanted 20 of these or something, that's a lot of money that you're potentially tying up in a product that might sit around for a while. So I can see why it would definitely be risky for a local game store to buy a bunch of these.
Yeah. Like, and then imagine if like it doesn't, I don't know, the investment on it is just like, whew.
Then you just open them and pray to the magic gods that you get the good cards.
Well, Seth, I know you love cracking booster packs.
I do love cracking boosters. I actually might get one of these just to like crack for a video or something. Just even though I know that it's not wise, but just because it would be kind of fun.
Did we ever tell the story of like Seth waking up in the morning and just cracking, what was it, like Zendikar boosters?
Oh yeah.
Like, why are you cracking Zendikar boosters at 8 a.m.?
Why would I
casually cracking?
You got like how many? You got like a few fetches, right? That's not bad.
We got some fetches out of it, so it worked. It worked fine.
This is Seth's perfect product. high stakes, Vegas style.
Do a little bit of gambling. Yeah. All right, let's move on to our last topic before Fish Mail, which was we got some Arena updates. They are officially releasing Arena, which I'm really thankful for. I mean, I'm glad they're releasing anyway. Also thankful that we're not going to have to hear, but it's beta anymore moving forward, because that has driven me a little crazy over the past 2 years. But there's actually some sweet stuff coming along with the full launch, along with Throne of Eldraine. So, Richard, why don't you walk us through the most exciting of the upcoming stuff on Arena?
All right. So they are finally releasing the game. It's not a beta anymore. And as part of that, they are giving a thank you to everyone who's been playing. So you basically will have one chance to enter an event. And in this event, you will be playing best of one standard, and you will have access to every single card in standard. Now, you will play up to one loss. So as soon as you get your first loss, your second loss, you're out. So you get one loss to give. And at 0 wins to 1 win, you get 1 Eldraine rare ICR. And it scales up. 2 to 3 wins gives you 2, 4 to 5 gives you 3, 6 to 7 gives you 4, 8 gives you 5. At 9 to 10, you get 5 ICRs and 1 sealed event token. At 11 wins, you get a copy of every card in Eldraine plus an event token. And at 12 wins, you get a copy of every card in Standard plus 1 sealed event token. So you get a free event, any card in Standard. You play up to 12 wins or 2 losses. And the rewards scale all the way up to 1x of everything in Standard at 12 wins.
Oh, that's such a... Whew. I love it. It gets my blood going when it comes to standard. But then it's like, the only thing I worry about this event is like, but I can't play dirtily decks. Like everyone's going to play aggro, and everyone's going to just try to win immediately and whatnot.
Why would everyone play aggro? This is not time bound, right? You would just play whatever best deck you have, because you only have one loss to give, right? So you would just play whatever you think your best deck is.
But it's best of one, right? So you want to be on the proactive game plan. You want to be the aggressor in this. You don't want to be the control deck and pray that you oh, I hope I don't stumble on mana, or I hope I draw my board wipe or something like that. You want to be the one asking all the questions. So
what I will say is I hope I'm getting new players who just signed up for their account yesterday, and I hope I roll 12 of them in a row, and I hope I don't get mana screwed during this whole process, and maybe I can pull off a 94% win percentage to get that 12 wins. Most likely is you'll get 2 to 3 wins, 4 to 5 wins, somewhere along that range, and you'll get 2 free ICRs and the chance to play with any card in standard for 4 matches, and then be happy with your free stuff, right? I think that is the most likely outcome of all of this, right?
I think that's how you got to look at it. Like, getting 12 wins is gonna be kind of like winning the lotto lucky. It's gonna be extra. That's asking a lot. 94% match win percentage over the course of 13 games or whatever. That is, you're running really hot. Like, some people it will happen to, but I think you got to look at it as it's just free value either way. Like, it's a free event. It doesn't cost you anything. They're giving you all the cards so you can play whatever you want to. So even if you only get 3 wins, 6 wins, like, you're still coming out way ahead by playing this event. So I think you gotta keep expectations reasonable. Like, look at it like, okay, I'm gonna get to play with any card I want to and get some free rares out of the deal. And that's a pretty good deal. Even though getting 12 wins obviously would be amazing, but it's going to be exceedingly rare. That is really tough to do.
Anything less than 12 wins for me, failure. I'm just kidding.
Do they match win records? Because if they do, this is like impossible. Like, if you're 11-1, do you play another 11-1, or do you play random person? Because if it's another 11-1, like, there is no skill in this whatsoever, right? Like, you're totally screwed. Whereas if it's just random people, you could actually hit, 5 or you got to basically farm noobs, right? Like, to get this, right? Like, people that don't know how to play Magic, they just signed up, and you get them and you crush them, and you're like, yes, please feed me wild cards.
It seems even harder because everyone has all
So
the cards.
spiky, Richard.
That's the only way to do it. You can't win these coin flips.
Richard's gonna try to figure out the most noob friendly play hour and try to time his tournament for all the pros will be sleeping now. This seems like when a lot of noobs
time
be
to
playing.
log in.
That's a serious question. So it starts at 5, October 5th at 8 p.m. It goes all the way to October 7th at 8 a.m. Do you play early, where people don't know what's good in standard, all the pros are in, all the streamers are trying to get the views? Or do you play late, where standard is more figured out, maybe more noobs have heard about the event? Like, where do you play? What is the optimal time, guys?
I'm gonna play as early as I can. Although
you gotta hit all the streamers.
So yeah, you can run into me and I'll probably be like, whoa, wait, I'll get 12 or I'll get 11 or 12 wins. Here's Blue Black Mill. There's not just noobs that you can farm. There's also people like me that have terrible ideas and also for some odd reason are willing to gamble pretty much, kind of like Seth, but with less assurance.
You probably gotta, maybe 5 a.m. or something. You gotta pick, I think that's what I learned with, eBay auctions
Do
a long time ago.
noobs play at 5 a.m. or is it the hardcore spikes playing at 5 a.m.?
I think you get, the noobs from, I don't know, Europe or something.
Or you get the really, sleepy American players.
Yeah.
And so they might misplay.
Or the people that have been up all night, partying because it's the weekend.
Right.
And they're like, before going to bed, I'm going to play a couple games. I could do this.
Or
and then
partying.
You just crush the drug people.
The partying, going out to the bars, cracking a cold one with the friends to celebrate Eldraine.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely going to play it. I hope I win a few individual card rewards. No expectation of 12 wins, though. That's not even, in my mind that's... I played enough Best of 1 to know how much variance there is with die rolls and stuff.
Yeah.
Boy, it's asking a lot to go 12 and 2.
But
I think the longest win streak I've ever gone on in like Best of 1 was I think 9 games.
That's like
pretty close.
Still pretty awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, like that. It's 9 games. So, ugh.
I was going to say something, but I forgot. What was I going to say? So let's move on to the other part of the announcement. Rotation is coming. They're calling it renewal. And on Magic Arena, you will get 10 ICRs from the standard sets. So Guilds of Ravnica Forward, after you log in. So just free straight up, right? And then you also get seasonal rewards. Eligible players will receive additional rewards for the first 25 levels of the Eldraine set mastery. So you get a jump start on Eldraine mastery pass. 14 boosters, 2 mastery orbs, 4 other standard boosters, not Eldraine, and then 10 uncommon ICRs. So just more free stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, free stuff is always good. I think, I don't know. I kind of wish they did a little more. Like,
what more do you want?
It's
just free cards. Like 10 free rares.
I mean, I wish they just gave away some packs for free, maybe. I think tying it to the thing I don't like about it is I feel like tying it to the Mastery Pass and giving you free levels, I would have got those anyway. Like, those are rewards I would have already earned. So I kind of don't feel like you're really giving me stuff. You're just giving me stuff I would have gotten anyway a little bit earlier, if that makes any sense.
I mean, yeah, but you got a free standard event with like free ways to earn things. You got like free, just straight up 10 ICRs. You get a little boost on your mastery. I'm like, this is way more than I'm expecting from Wizards, by the way, right? And we'll probably get the play Eldraine code to get 3 free boosters as usual. So I feel like there's a lot of free stuff. I feel it's pretty good. I don't know how you can feel bad about this. Like,
I mean,
what do you want? Like a
I'm
full set for
thankful
free?
for it, but just don't tie. If it was the same thing but not tied to the Mastery Pass, I wouldn't have any complaints. I'm still very thankful for it. Like 10 rares, that's awesome. You get a bunch of stuff early so you can start building your collection. That's awesome. But I kind of feel like it's a little sneaky to like tie it to the Mastery Pass that people would have already earned.
Speaking of the Mastery Pass, by the way, the Fey Fox pet.
Do you like the fox better than the cat?
Yeah, I love the fox way more than the cat.
This fox is so derpy.
It's so cute. It's so cute. It makes funny faces.
Will it crash your game though?
It's worth it. It's worth it. Also, it will be out of beta, so we'll see.
I just wish it was like a gingerbread cookie or something. Why is it a fox?
They also mentioned, before we get to fish mail, Brawl is coming in October. Going to have weekly events. I think people were a little bit surprised that it's not going to be like an evergreen format that's just up all the time, but instead you can direct challenge people all the time, from my understanding, but it's not going to have an event that's up all the time. But that's coming in October along with Friends List. And then they had like a more far out look of what they're working on and mentioned cube drafting, which cube drafting would be super cool. Like, I hope that actually becomes reality, but I think that's more like sometime next year time frame, because it's listed around like Core Set 2021's Zendikar Rising. But they definitely seem like they have a lot of stuff coming down the pike with Arena. So anything on there that you're specifically excited for?
Friends List. I know it sounds ridiculous saying it, but after it's been out for so long, but Friends List. Because maybe that now means we have a spectator mode, which makes it so when it comes to like spectating matches, if you're like commentating things and all of that stuff, and just it's a lot easier, right?
Yeah, I'm very surprised we don't have the spectator mode yet, especially with the push for esports and things like that. Like, there are some pretty janky solutions to get this to all work. But I think the big topic here is Brawl. We thought it was going to be a big thing. Now it's a once a week thing. And I feel, people might say they don't want Brawl to succeed, but I feel this is them trying to make it succeed. I think their fear is if you put it, on all the time, it'll take you like 10 minutes to make a match. So we'll condense it all. And the reason I believe them is they've done this with Moto plenty in the past, right? They start things on like smaller queues and they try to condense it all. They try to aggregate queues to keep them from not firing. So I believe them when they actually say this, and it's not some weird, tinfoil hat conspiracy to have you play standard instead of Brawl, because I think Wizards wins when you play Brawl, right? It still rotates. You still have to buy standard cards. So I think they do want you to play Brawl, but they're just worried that no one will play Brawl, especially, we've seen the meme of the Grand Prix with the one guy who shows up and wins the Brawl event because he's the only guy. Like, I think they want that to not happen. So they're going a little slow and cautious to start with.
I'm just sad it's once a week though. At the same time, it's like, I guess I speak from a point where like when they usually fire their events like this on the weekend, right? Like the singleton events are always on the weekend, and I don't know, maybe I just, it means I can't really stream it because I stream on the weekdays. And that's the only reason why. That, and just because I want to play Brawl all the time. Like, I would want to be able to play Brawl all the time. And I don't want to have to challenge my friends personally and whatnot. I guess friends list will help with that. But like,
I don't want to play any of my friends. Go away.
I don't want to play any of my friends. Like, I don't know.
I just have a hard time understanding how Arena can apparently have like millions of players at this point based on the numbers that keep coming out. And how can you have like 5 million players or something and not be able to support a Brawl queue when Moto has like, I don't know, 10,000 players maybe, and it has like 40 events going at any given time? Like, how could the whole system fall apart if you had one more queue? But I don't, maybe I'm missing something there.
Do you not remember 1v1 Commander? I remember like 2 weeks into the Brawl saga, I was like, okay, I'll try some. And I sat there and queued for like 25 minutes getting a match. It doesn't fire, right? So we know the Wizards numbers inflated, right? It's not active users, or active means something like I played once in the last 30 days. It's not like you log in and there's literally a million people playing simultaneously with you. Like Krim said, like once a week, makes it tough. But at the same time, I feel like they want to see people play it. I feel like they're probably going to balance it somewhat. Like expect bannings or something to come to this format, and they're going to slowly, ramp it up. And if it's so popular, they'll make it like a normal queue. I believe they would do that. But if it's not popular, they'll just have it die off and pretend it never existed.
Well, hopefully we get there eventually then, but we better move on. We're running a little long. Let's answer some fishmail questions. Richard, take it away.
All right. If you have questions, send them to @MTGGoldfish with the hashtag MTGFishmail, and we'll get to your questions on air. Retro Twinfin. So this is actually like maybe like 3 or 4 fishmails combined. All about Brazen Borrower, which we talked about. So someone thinks, well, this card is awesome. When do I buy it? Someone thinks this card sucks. What happens if the creature side had Remand stapled to it instead of its current ability? Where do we fall on it?
Like
so instead of the bounce of Remand, I think.
Oh.
Or they. I mean, are we really saying like add a Remand on the ETB? Like that would be nuts, right?
Yeah. If it bounced and remanded, I'm like, I would play like 100 of these cards.
Remand on either side would be nuts. Like even if it was just Remand and the current as the spell part, it would still be insane.
Yeah.
I think the card's really good. Like my only criticism is like Lotus Cobra or something. It's a card that doesn't feel mythic to me. Like it's not a power level complaint. I think it's one of the most powerful cards in the set. It just is like kind of, I don't know, one of those cheap like pushed for constructed type cards.
Is Vendilion Click a mythic?
Yeah.
I think it would be a rare in my opinion.
I think
it's a mythic
Vendilion
in
Click
Master
is-
sets because of money, but
Yeah.
Vendilion Click, I think, is definitely worth being a mythic. Just because it's a 3/1 flyer, which is already really good.
that's a cloud sprite, spirit, whatever.
Right, but with flash, right, it has a solid body, whatever. And then on top of that, you're able to look at your opponent's hand and pick any key parts that matter and then ship it. You can even target yourself, which is huge. So I think, I'm playing a control mirror. I don't want 100 fatal pushes, so at least I'll bounce one of these back and maybe draw something better. I don't know. There's a lot of like versatility in Vendilion Click, and I like that. So I understand why that's mythic.
Click is great. I just come down the side where I prefer like the cards that are pushed for constructed to primarily be at rare, and mythics to be the big flashy things. I think maybe the example that, I don't know, like the Evolving Wilds card.
Just think,
like the
limited.
rare Evolving Wilds.
If this thing was rare, it would be so powerful, right?
I can buy that for like Questing Beast. Like Questing Beast, that's a card. It seems push for constructed, but I think that, or like Carnage Tyrant, that's push for constructed, but if that was a rare, it would make limited so miserable. Is this really that bad in limited? Like it's a okay bounce spell
and then
okay
a 3/1
but
flyer with flash? I think it's pretty good. I'd happily first pick this.
Yeah, I would first pick it.
Rare drafters.
I mean, sorry, you mean mythic rare drafters?
Yeah, yeah, technically, you're right.
All right. Next question. Dio Gofk. I've seen people complaining on the subreddit that Wormcoil Engine is too good for historic. Honestly, without Tron, I don't see it. It just folds the counters and exile-based removal. In my opinion, Torrential Gearhawk seems way more impactful. What do you guys think?
You're playing 6 mana. I think it's just a fair card. I think it's a fair card. Like, yeah, if it dies, they get 2/3/3s out of it. It gets a little problematic there, sure. But
is it too fair? Is it like a Titan where you're like, yeah, it's just a fair card, but like, it's really good? Is it that level, or do you agree with the Fishmail Asker? It's just like any replacement 6-drop.
I think it's better than any 6-drop. It's right where I think Cavalier of Thorns sits, maybe a little bit better, like when it hits in standard, is what I mean. But like, yeah, like I think it is just a fair card. It's obviously powerful, but it's not any 6-place replacement.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the question for me is, can anything else see play if this is in the format? I think that's my concern. Is I think it's so much better than any other options in the format that those cards just basically don't get to see play anymore if you put Wormcoil in. So all of a sudden, all the 6-drops that you were holding over from standard don't get to do anything anymore. So I think that's my problem. Whether or not it would be straight up too powerful, well, I think it's borderline, but I think it would decrease diversity, because if you're ever thinking of playing another 6-drop, Wormcoil is probably just going to be better for every color since it's colorless.
I mean, that is the thing, because it's colorless. That's probably the biggest benefit to it. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. Is it really going to stop me from playing Liliana? Is it really going to stop me from playing like a 6-drop Planeswalker that would just, poop out some chump blockers? Like a Garruk can just throw 2 wolves in front of it, which if you swing with the Wormcoil, you only get my Garruk closer to ulting.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fair card. I don't think it's too good.
Yeah, I don't think it's too good. I think it's just fair.
It's so slow that it's not going to invalidate archetypes. The reason, if you can Tron it out, then it becomes ridiculous, because haha, good luck aggro decks. But since you're playing it on 6, maybe on turn 5, it's just a 6-mana 6/6 with things. And we have plenty of those available to us. So it is an option.
And it does not have hexproof, so Teferi can bounce it.
Yeah, right. So I don't think it warps the metagame or anything. So I think it's fine. I don't think you would always unanimously put this as your 6-drop. I think you have to think, and there are other contenders that do things that you would put in with it.
That would do even more
What card
things.
in our current standard format would you possibly, what 6-drop in our current standard format, which would be historic, would you consider playing over Wormcoil?
Strictly just 6-drop?
Lockmere Serpent, or I think the thing for me is, I thought historic was supposed to be like, okay, your cards still have value after rotation. You get to keep playing your cards after rotation. When if you put in these really powerful old cards, then you don't really get to do that, because you got to buy the old cards.
That is true.
Because they're
I
better
agree with
than
that point.
the cards. That's my concern more than, I don't think it would break the format, but I think it takes away from you get to keep playing your stuff aspect of historic, which is what it was originally billed as.
I would still play Garruk.
Yeah, but Garruk didn't rotate.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess I guess with rotation,
Yeah.
this upcoming rotation. Well,
Yeah.
hold on, but Lockmere Serpent didn't rotate either.
I mean, no one plays 6-drops, right? That's the thing.
Yeah,
that's why we can't name any, right? So
But that's because Wormcoil isn't in standard. Whew.
But
we
Lily-
would be playing 6-drops if we had a Wormcoil.
So when
I play
Wormcoil
Lily.
was in standard, no one really played it, right? It was like sideboard material.
No,
I mean,
it was
granted,
played.
we had Titans, but
Yeah.
you know,
Titans made Wormcoil look like not that great at all. So, I mean, the thing about Wormcoil is just, I don't know. I mean, I play Lily, I play Ugin, I play those right now. I play Chandra, which, by the way, Chandra can...
Well, I mean, Krim never cares about any creature, right? Because he plays a control deck. Like, he's like, whatever, as long as it's hexproof and can be countered, I'm good, right? Like,
Okay, also true, I do have a special spot for just winning with Planeswalkers, but like, Planeswalkers do a lot more than just a 6/6 to me.
Yeah.
I know that's weird to hear, but like Planeswalkers do way more than just a 6/6.
all right. Last question. Lord of Mies. Seth thinks fetches are coming to Zendikar. I don't contest this view. If that happens, what do you guys think of historic with modern mana bases with fetches and shocks?
I'm fine with it. I think
The
I think
things
having
Wizards
good mana,
hates. Shuffling.
I think having good mana allows you to do a lot of cool things. I think historic with good mana would be sweet. And since historic's on Arena and shuffling isn't a thing, I don't even know if I buy the shuffling argument anymore.
Yeah, like that is the thing I like about it on Arena. There's no more shuffling thing. And if we're talking about from the sets that have rotated out, so let's just say from Dominaria forward or whatever, like I don't think there's anything crazy ridiculous for having fetch lands with those lands. Matter of fact, I think you can go back a little bit and go like Battle for Zendikar, so you get like Sunken Hollow and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they print a Blood Moon, it should be good, right?
How about not Blood Moon and just
like,
reprint like Burning Earth?
Like, you don't want everyone to play 5C good stuff, and that's like literally all the decks, right? So you need some way to punish that or to force people to play into mono or 2-color decks. So as long as you have that, then there's no problem with fetches and shocks, right? Make it so that there's a real downside to doing it.
Price of Progress, Burning Earth, put those
Price of Progress would be
in a historic. Also put Back to Basics. Just so
I'm fine with Back to Basics.
Mono blue, like tempo or whatever.
So add all of those, and then you might as well just
basics.
add the Tron lands while you're at it, because
No,
you
no,
have the
don't be
safety
ridiculous.
net. And then you might as well just add Card Liberated. Like, why not?
I mean, and that stuff's actually like kind of possible if they're just going to add in old cards. Like if you can add in Wormcoil and Dark Confidant and the cards they mentioned,
Then you could
Bloodmoon
add
doesn't
Jace.
seem that out of line.
Well, no. Jace would happen before that, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think I would think they would try to get one of the most iconic cards in Jace the Mind Sculptor into Arena.
Yeah.
What about Power 9? Can they just like Black Lotus and Moxen?
Oh, how funny
There's
would
no
that
reserve
be?
list.
There's
Cube
no
draft.
reserve list. That would be
draft.
hilarious.
It's is it a reprint if it never hit paper?
Oh, think of how quickly you could play your you could like turn one to Fairy Crim if you had Black Lotus and Moxen. You would be in heaven.
You're like untap up to 2 lands. I don't even have 2 lands, guys. It's fine.
It's fair.
It is. It is.
All right. Thank you to everyone who sent in their questions. If you have questions, send them to @MTGGoldfish with the hashtag MTGFishmail, and we'll get to your questions on air.
And I believe that brings us to the end of episode 243 of the MTG Goldfish podcast. So Richard Cribb, thanks for hanging out. Thanks to everyone for listening. Thanks to Spikes Academy for supporting the show. You can get 5% off over at spikesacademy.com with the code GOLDFISH. So until the next week, when we will keep you up to date on whatever is going on in the world of Magic, this is the crew signing out.